Well, this is both disturbing and quite frankly pathetic. The U.S. Naval Academy, which exists to train future officers to uphold the Constitution, has canceled a lecture about wisdom because the speaker refused to remove a reference to books that are banned on their own campus. Author Ryan Holiday was scheduled to speak at the Naval Academy, something he's done for years about stoicism, about virtue, about courage, about wisdom. But shortly before the talk, he gets a call and he is asked, can you take out the slide mentioning the nearly 400 books that have been removed from the Naval Academy's Nimitz library? Among those books, Maya Angelou's I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, a history of Black soldiers in World War II, a reimagining of a Kafka book, a book on how women killed in the Holocaust are remembered. Now, the Navy didn't deny it. In fact, a spokesperson told the New York Times, the Naval Academy is an apolitical institution. But aren't the book bans themselves extraordinarily politically driven at their core? And then the second order effect is that they're censoring a lecture on wisdom because it references banned books, which were pulled explicitly to comply with Donald Trump's Executive Order 14151. That's the one that guts diversity and equity programs and orders government institutions to stop, quote, wasting money on, quote, radical leftist ideology. So this really wasn't about Ryan Holiday getting political. This was about the institution's cowardice. The leadership chose obedience to Donald Trump's culture war over academic freedom, over intellectual integrity, and over the actual pursuit of wisdom, which was going to be the subject of Ryan's talk at the Naval Academy. I would think that you want midshipmen to one day command nuclear submarines and to be capable of discerning different ideas and texts for themselves and able to evaluate what actually is the correct action here. But we can't trust them to hear about Maya Angelou. So this is part of a much bigger trend. Book bans at schools and libraries across the country obviously is a part of it. The defunding of DEI programs at universities and government agencies. Professors fired or silenced for teaching history that some find, quote, uncomfortable. And all of this is the exact opposite of what higher education, especially at a military academy, should be all about. Even if you don't like the content, the US military used to believe that we need to understand opposing ideas in order to counter them more effectively. Even if you believe all of the stuff that was banned is because it was bad. Well, isn't it better to have it and to intelligently be able to synthesize? And if the conclusion is I'm going to oppose some of this stuff, well, then that's your conclusion. Remember when General Mark Milley talked about how, why wouldn't we want to know what critical race theory is? This was when they were going after Milley, when Trump was still president Trump was president the first time, for being a woke general. And are you really studying CRT in the military? Well, hold on a second. If this is subject matter that is prevalent in society, if this is a framework that some people are using to analyze or think about how the world works, at minimum, shouldn't we understand it, even if it is so that we can oppose it? No, not allowed. The bigger picture, when you zoom out here and you say, Mark Milley shouldn't be studying CRT, Ryan Holiday shouldn't mention the nearly 400 banned books, you look weak. You look weak when you censor instead of challenge. If the ideas in the nearly 400 books are truly radical or misguided, why not confront them head on and show the students at the Naval Academy, here's what these texts say, and here's why it's wrong or it's misguided or it's not good. Why not trust the future leaders at the Naval Academy that you are educating to think critically and to engage in debate? Instead of banning nearly 400 books, silencing dissent doesn't show strength. It shows fear. And it sends a message to the cadets. When you are faced with uncomfortable truths or texts that might contradict something you believe, by the way, I don't know that they even really would, right? I mean, learning about Black World War II soldiers, why is that such a challenge to your beliefs? But if what you believe is that is a challenge to your beliefs, what you are teaching the cadets by banning the books is that when you are faced with uncomfortable or contradictory information to your beliefs, you shut it down instead of saying, let's analyze it, let's discuss it. This is not the lesson that we should be teaching the people that are going to be involved in anything related to what the Navy does, potentially even approaching aspects of war, weaponry, etc. It's pathetic stuff. And we will see if there's any more follow-up from it. After researching, writing, refining, The Echo Machine, my book, is finally out. This is not just a book about how American politics got so broken. It's also about what's happening right now and what we can still do to stop things from getting worse. Trump's been back in power. The results have been even more catastrophic than many feared, with targeting of political opponents and gutting democratic institutions, laying the groundwork to even further consolidate power. But the thing is that none of this is inevitable. The same forces that brought us here can be countered if we understand how they work and what to do about them. And that's what The Echo Machine is all about. Some say that without corporate media backing, books like this can't succeed. I think we can prove them wrong. You can get The Echo Machine right now at davidpakman.com/echo on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Audible, Kindle, or by calling any local bookstore and asking them to order it. This book is more important than ever. If you care about what happens next, and I do, check out The Echo Machine today at davidpakman.com/echo.